Hi and welcome to our 38th episode. And my name is Sufyan Youssef, and I'm in conversation with the Dean and Director of Six Cricket Academy, Mr. Karthik Jeshwanth. Welcome, sir.
Hello.
In this episode, we have few points to be discussed. The first topic is transition challenges. Second is data and selection. Third, pathway bottleneck. Fourth, balancing academics and cricket. Mr. Jeshwanth, the first question is, what are the biggest challenges players face while transitioning from club cricket to higher level? How are these addressed?
Yeah, this is a very relevant question which confronts everybody who progresses to the top. So at every step, there is a transition, there is a degree of difficulty increases, the challenges increase, you got to match up. And when you progress into from a younger age group to the higher age group and from a developmental stage of learning to a professional setup of learning, these challenges do get hotter and hotter. Now, this is where, I always keep saying that the physical, technical, tactical, and psychological verticals which are important for any sports person to climb the ladder. So this is where when you're transitioning into the next level of cricket from developmental to professional cricket. So it is assumed that you've done enough and more work on the technique side of it. So whatever you've done for those formative years, you got to carry it and make it count at the next level. So now what becomes important is how fit are you? How psychologically adaptable are you? Because the other issues, like not just technique about the bat coming in the right place, the release position is in the right place, it also becomes about a mind game. Now, how are you addressing pressures? How do you take decision making? All these kind of things come in. Are you focused enough? Do you concentrate enough compared to the other, distractions which come your way? So all these will have to come in. Somebody who is good psychologically, I think, has an edge over the players who excel at the age group cricket for many reasons. One could be just they're physically strong. Or the opposition is weak, because as you grow higher in the ladder, the pyramid gets narrow and only the best will survive. So I think it is your ability to think correctly, right, tactfully and tactically, and then focus on the psychological aspects. That is how you probably survive in the next grade.
If I can come in here, you just addressed about how narrow the pathway becomes. Is it true that if a guy is doing well in under 14, will it be doing an under 16 very well?
Not necessarily. He'll certainly have an edge. Okay, he's done well in under 14. There is a good chance. The chance is just limited to the thing of the selections are aware of a player like that. Someone who is coming newly may find it difficult, but doesn't mean that the person who is coming newly will not make it, because he also, it is just, see, one thing people have to believe is it is a game of performance, and cricket is such a game where scorecard speaks. So the performances could be judged very easily by anybody. So yes, it has an advantage, but it is not the be all and end all.
Moving on to the second question, data and selection. With the rise of data-driven selection, is there a risk of talented players being overlooked to a lack of opportunities to showcase their skills?
No, I would look at it the other way. If data is providing, obviously it will provide the right material which the selectors or the selection committee needs. So when that is in handy, I would say it's a good tool for the talented players. So obviously the talented players will perform. So what is the guarantee, and who is assuring or who is giving you the assurance that somebody is talented? And if the scorebook is not telling anything, it doesn't, I don't think so. I think this question is about if data is getting more and more relevant with the selections. I think the talented players have an edge here. They will not be missed out.
So, this has been a very important question. A lot of parents keep asking us, and you've also addressed this time and again, balancing academics and cricket. You've said that putting all your eggs into one basket is wrong, but a lot of parents are again and again asking us, how do you advise young players to balance cricket and education, considering uncertainty of a professional career?
Yes, in any professional career, the strike rate or the success rate is very nominal or poor, I would say. Keeping that in mind, because that cannot be changed. India cannot play more than 11 players. That cannot be changed. Of course, the new opportunities in IPL and all these things are coming up. More and more. Okay, you make it into 10. So that's it. But the kind of people who want to play and excel at this sport is so humongous. So it is not easy for anyone to excel. Now, keeping that in mind, now the mistake which the players or the parents are doing here is giving up on education, making time for sport to get good at that sport. I don't think anybody can, if you don't have it, can become good in that sport just because you're practicing, spending a lot of time. Where you come in is when you're good and then you know that you're very close to getting into the professional level of cricket. That is when you need to spend a lot more time. So this, in my opinion, would be about, just when you're entering into the degrees, that is after 12th standard, that is when probably you can take a call. Because now what is happening is the parents are putting their children into the academies and the camps when they are, 11 years, 12 years, just because for two reasons. One is the child really loves the game. Other could be he's running away from life, he wants to miss school and, the pressures which the schools put. Or for some other various reasons we do not know. So now the parent has to be careful. And again I'm telling, if your child spends a lot more time on the cricket ground, it doesn't mean that if he doesn't have that skill, that God-given ability, you cannot make him good. Yeah, good coach can make a good player into a better player or a great player. So that is one thing about it which the parent needs to keep in mind. Now, sacrificing education and spending all the time for the game, like in the question itself, it says that the success rate is very poor. Coming to it is, now you're putting, like you said, you put all the eggs in one basket. Now what happens is, what is the pressure factor? This game is all about pressure and decision making. And under pressure, do you take proper decisions? Absolutely no. We all know that, it's common sense. So when you're giving up on everything and just banking on one sport, you're unnecessarily adding pressure upon yourself. Versus you lead a normal life, then you have options here and there. Then when you realize that you're good, that is when to call off the rest of the things and focus only on the game. And that is the time where you need to spend more time, not at the initial stages, because there is a physical ability also. How long can you practice? Oh, okay, because of something called the reverse dependency trap, which the parent feels that because I wanted to play, I couldn't play, I want my child to play. That is another reason why people are doing it. So I don't agree with that, but you should not sacrifice or compromise on education, because even if you succeed in sport without being an educated guy, you will not hold on to the rest of your life with pride. So that's what I'm saying. The education will allow you to keep your head high.
It's a clear message to a lot of parents. And last question is, how do you teach young players that failure is part of a learning process rather than just a setback?
Yeah, this is recently I was watching a speech of Roger Federer I think if I'm right, in the Harvard or Stanford University, where he went and spoke, where he said that he being a world champion or number one for a long time, he said that his percentage of success was something like 53%. So now when that is the thing, what he was saying was, like, if I had thought about the failures, I wouldn't think about what I'm going to do the next, whether I'm serving or receiving the serve or playing a rally. Similarly, that applies to cricket. What has happened as a failure, it should be a stepping stone for you to learn that why I didn't do well at that particular situation. Now, that should not bother you. Just keep moving on, because there's always something coming at you, or you're going to bowl something at somebody. So when that is the situation, in what way, what has already happened kind of help you, and in fact it is going to demoralize you. So I think, this game is always about going forward, and I think you've got to be thinking ahead.
That's the right message. Thank you, sir. Do like, share and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We are back on the 1st of every month.
Thank you very much.